Hello, hello, this is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts, and I'm back to do what's in my basket, what's on my desk for the what's in let's make together for my altered composition book. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make journal cards to put in there, but I need to get a tearing ruler if I can find one somewhere. I can't, so well, we'll just do it whatever way works. That worked. See that? And so did that. And so did that. Let's see, I'm going to tear off that little tiny bit. And I'm going to just start putting these in here. Or, I'm sorry, on here. Maybe that's a little large. Let's go this way. So that we can at least ink around them and get a defined edge. So it might look like quilt blocks of some kind. And I'm using art glitter glue this time, since I'm not gluing inside of that altered composition book. Save myself a little headache. Won't save myself a headache on this thing here, though, will I? So we'll need a couple different papers, and I don't really need to do this to them, but well, why not? I will have to overlap them because of crooked tears, and it will look better overlapped. That's a nice little piece. Let's use that. Oops. Inka-dinka-dinka-doo. You should really think about inking too. So I wanted to do a quick video so I could upload 2 videos this evening. The one for earlier today that will play tomorrow. And this one that will play another day. Let's see. No rhyme or reason, just grabbing and tearing and inking and gluing. And these will be large journal cards because that's how I have made the composition book, mostly is to hold large journaling cards. Scoot yourself over there, lady. Thank you. And I think we'll put this one up there. And then we'll decorate the journal cards when I figure out if they're going to upper tucks or lower tucks or side tucks or whatever kind of tuck we have. So how is everybody? I am doing great. It's been my favorite kind of weather. Beautiful blue skies in the 70s. Oh, perfect summer day. That's all there is to it. Absolutely lovely. gray. Why not? Overlapping so that they make different shapes. I think will look nice. So this is the time of the year when people start working on their family trees. So Josephine and I have been a little bit busy this afternoon. Not a lot, but a little bit. Getting some things figured out. Nope, Caryl, if you want anything researched, you just send me some info and I'll do it for you. No charge. It's all private. Private, private, private. It goes nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. So if you want me to peek around and see if there's any pictures of your grandparents or anything, you let me know and I'll be happy to check it out for you. It's easy peasy. I'll have to cut that little bit off right there. I think I'll put that one in there. I'm just going to leave it attached and I'll show you what I'm going to do to make it look like it's cut. I'm just going to fold it right here. Make that look like a little card sticking out there. There. And then right along that other line here. And then we'll go over here, like so, and give a line. Just like that. And then one right here. Okay, there we go. Now it looks like it's cut apart a little bit. It's not perfect, but remember what I say, we don't go for perfect over here. Now, if I were having to make this specifically for somebody, then I would be looking at doing something a little more perfect. You know, something like that. That's a different thing. But this is just for me. And so I don't have to worry about it too much. Sometimes it feels like masterboards take forever. And that's what this is called, by the way, if you don't know. This is called a masterboard. And they call it that because you're putting all your papers onto one sheet. And then you can save that for later or another time or, you know, something like that. And it will be all ready to be cut into tags and journal cards and different things like that. Save that for somewhere else. Let's go ahead and add this one back in. Boy, I will be ready to put my head on a pillow this evening. I'll tell you, I am very tired. I love this little writing here. Let's use that for that little place right there. I'm inking up the tips of my fingers. Can you see that? There you go. Now you can. Right side up, please. Now we got another one of those holes right here. So what could we put in that little hole? That butterfly? Half a butterfly? Why not? Yeah, Josephine and I have done a lot of research on others' trees and a lot of stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. We do quite a bit. She does a lot more than I do. So I can't get myself to sit at my computer for hours at a time, but Jo's a lot better at that than I am, which is fine. I'm glad she does. It helps me out too. Tear it all apart, put it all back together again. Aren't we a funny group? Trying not to put them all in straight lines, and then I do it and it's like, what am I doing? Ooh, I love this. Let's use it. Whoops. Oh, here's some stamps. Let's use those. And you can come back and, put stamps on the top of this if you want, or, like postal stamps. You can also stamp on it and, add layers to it, paint on it if you like. can do all kinds of things to these. You could add little flowers on the top. I'm going to put this one down here. And let's see. Something a little different. Oh, here. Let's go with this. Guess we'll do that. Something in there. We'll squish it in there. So dinner's all done and we've eaten and dishes are done. What else? Oh, the dog. They had to express her anal glands, you know, because, well, I don't know about your dog, but our dog with the labs, a lot of times, they don't express their glands very well and they fill up, I guess. That's the way it works. Anyway, we thought they'd been doing it every month when she goes in for her, she gets a shot for allergies, and then she gets a shot for her joints. And so we thought that that was just part of the process because we've always done it that way. But that part had not been being done. And then we noticed the last couple of days she's just been miserable. So I made sure that they did it this time and clipped her toenails and all that good stuff for us. Because she does not let me clip her toenails. And so that was all done this time. And anyway, the story. I'm going off on a tangent here. But the real part of the story that I wanted to tell you was that she has blood in her stool. In that gland, she had a bunch of blood. So now she's on an antibiotic for the next 2 weeks. So, oh, the joys of puppy parenthood. Of course, they said, do you think she's ever going to calm down? She's almost 9. Or my husband's like, no. She's never going to calm down. She's a dog full of every kind of energy that a lab could have. I've got these all about the same size, don't I? Maybe that will look weird. Don't know. We're going to cut it apart anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm going to cut it apart. It's going to be in halves. No longer wholes. There's a little square. But I want the one under it that's just a tad bit bigger. I hope it fits. That'll work. You could also put washi tape on the top. You could sew all around it. That would be kind of a cool thing to do, wouldn't it? And let's see. You know, the one thing I haven't really done is the Franken sewing, where you sew all the different types of papers together. I think that's what it is. I don't think I've ever done that. I'm going to offset this, so there's still going to be a little hole right there. I was going to go out and do some weeding, and remembered when I went to kneel down that I have a big old scab on my knee, and woo boy, did that really sting. That hurt. Quite a surprise, let me tell you. Because really, you know, my knee doesn't hurt or anything like that. It's just when I went to kneel on it, it hurt. So that just was not very nice of my knee to do that. I feel like stuffing a larger piece in. Does anybody else do family tree research? Boy, we love it here in my family. We used to go around to old places where our ancestors lived, and we'd look for the landmarks and go to old cemeteries, and just lots and lots of research. And there's so much you can do, and so much you can find in courthouses and stuff like that. A lot of my husband's family came from parts of Russia and Germany and Scotland, and I have a lot of Scottish on my dad's side. My dad's mother's side, is it? I can't think right now. My brain is on standby because we've been doing a little research this afternoon, and my brain, I tell you, it felt like Jello for a little bit there. Kind of funny how that happens. You're just tripping along, and all of a sudden, your brain goes tired. Yeah. So much to do. The cemetery research is a lot of fun. You get to go to some really cool cemeteries. And went to one for my husband's family, and there was the old Ebenezer Church and stuff named after one of my husband's descendants, or ancestors, sorry. And you could tell kids had been there partying, lots of beer bottles and stuff, and a lot of overgrown graves, but very, very neat regardless. And yeah, got to take pictures of one of his grandmother's graves, and lots of relatives there. You could call it kind of a family reunion of sorts. Except for my husband wasn't with me. It was my sister and I and my brother-in-law. And, yeah. Just a lot of fun. Yeah, one of my favorite things to do. I need a different color in here. I know we're using all the orangey colors, but just need a little different pattern here. I need it to be smaller than that. Maybe like this, with a little rosebud in it. Yeah, one cemetery we went to, it was very overgrown, waist high. I was afraid we were going to get poison ivy and poison oak, and we didn't. I don't know how we were so lucky. And you can't even think about the snakes or anything that might be there, because you know darn well underneath all that junk is a bunch of snakes. And so you just don't think about it. We take along, our little tools and stuff, not to dig, but, like walking sticks and stuff like that. So hopefully we can protect ourselves. But we've crossed many barbed wire fences and into the little old cemeteries, and yeah, it's just really something. It's really kind of an exciting thing to do. I want to tear these flowers out here, I think. Oh, there's a butterfly. Let's take that butterfly. Here we go, Mr. Butterfly. I hope I can leave you whole. Hope I don't have to tear off a wing. I'm not even looking. I'm just going to glue him down. There, that one matches back up with that, doesn't it? Oops. Oopsie. Yeah. Always find it interesting, Some of the cemeteries are excuse me if you don't believe in this, but some of the cemeteries are really haunted. And boy, you learn really fast which ones are. And yeah, it's something you just can't even imagine. And you think that you've seen things that are not real. It's just bizarre. I'm going to put this one right here. But, yeah, a lot of fun to go to courthouses and search through old records, and you learn about the properties they had and if they were part of any mining groups or things like that, which is really cool. And what else? Oh, marriage records. And I got one more right here. Marriage records. death information, and going to like the state archives. Of course, you pick up all kinds of amazing documents. You know, I'm going to cover those up. What am I going to do? Can't. Yeah, it has to be there. Okay, well, we'll do it this way. Yeah, we'll go there. And then doing newspaper research. We used to go down to the college in Eugene and go through, they have the old historical newspapers all on microfilm down there. Of course, now they're all on a computer. But we would go down and spend hours calling through those and making copies and bringing stacks of things home. Aha. And a hole. There's a hole up there. Yeah, hours and hours. But, you know, it's fun stuff. It's just, it's so interesting. And, you know, finding relatives is, and where they were buried, where they lived, getting to see maybe their old property or the old house or things like that. It's just so interesting. There's just so much that you can learn about family, and then you read in the newspapers about, well, on this day they went to some other city and they went to visit so and so you can put that in their timeline, and so you start developing a whole timeline around these people. It's not a whole life, you know, when they went to work, what they did, all that. It's not all that. But you get a timeline of things and you can start imagining, oh, well, it was like this and this and this. And, you know, how did they ever do it? You know, my, grandfather, my great-grandfather, he had a flour mill, and Josephine found all the information on the kind of flour mill that he had. And so now we have all that historical information to put in the tree and stuff. And it just really makes it very cool. Okay, now a journaling card. How tall are these papers? They're 8.5. So if I cut them at 4, that's a good sized journaling card there. 4.5. No, I'm going to go 4. There's 1, 2, okay, so at 4 inches we get 3 journaling cards, and here's a tag. So this is, what, 8.5 I said? Yes. So at 4 1/4, we should get 2 tags. Ta-da! 2 tags. And then 8.5 tall. They only need to be probably about 6 inches tall. because we don't want them to be giganticized. So now we have a small journaling card and a larger journaling card. And there again. And we'll do one more of those. So we have 1, 2, 3 of the small journaling cards. And 1, 2, 3 large ones. And 2 tags. I cut the poor butterfly. Sorry, guy. Anyway, we'll make the shapes up there and, you know, do all that stuff too. But before I go any further, these are going to have to dry because they are very wet. And that's a lot of glue. So, that is a masterboard. And these are what we mastered out of it. And made for our composition book. And that, my friends, was a lot of fun. I always enjoy that. So I appreciate you all joining me today. Let's set these where you can actually see them all, and I'll be quiet a minute so you can just look. Do you want me to be quiet? Shh, Angela. There. Can you see those now? There we go. Okay. So these will go into... this. And we'll probably just start right up here and start adding things. And this is a journaling card, as I said before. But we've got a little pocket here that goes this way. And a writing space, pockets. And we have a pocket here. And this is really a nice place for one of these because, as you can see, well, we could actually make a bigger one. When we make our next masterboard, we'll make some bigger ones. So this actually probably needs to go in one of these. There we go. So we'll round the edges and put some lace on them and stuff like that. And then we'll be able to put them in there, and we'll use up a bunch of stuff on our desk. Use it up! And we can decorate these too. So don't forget that we might want to do that, like so, or so, or so. So lots of things we can do. Okay, thank you so much for joining me while I did this. It was nice to have somebody to talk to about chit-chat stuff. And, you know, I like to chit-chat. Too much sometimes. Okay, I better stop. I'll see y'all in the very next video. Thanks for joining me. Bye!